Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and researcher who has spent more than 3 decades sitting across from men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s. And time after time, I hear the same quiet confession whispered with shame. Doctor, why don't I wake up the way I used to? Gentlemen, when morning erections fade, it feels like more than just a physical change. It feels like a silent thief stealing confidence, intimacy, even identity, and many men assume it's just old age. But the truth is far different. Science now shows that your body still holds the circuitry for strong natural erections. The blood vessels, the nerve signals, the muscle memory, none of it is gone. They are simply dormant, waiting to be reawakened. Studies published in the Journal of Urology and the International Journal of Impotence Research confirm that even after 60, men can restore vascular flexibility, nerve sensitivity, and pelvic strength. Decline is not destiny. And that is why today I'm going to reveal 4 overlooked pressure points, hidden switches in your own body, grounded in research, that can reignite firmness without pills, without risky devices, without surgery. Just your hands, a few minutes a day, and the discipline to care for yourself. But before we dive in, I need you to do something simple yet powerful. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another science-backed way to reclaim your health. And press like right now, not for me but for you. Because each like tells the algorithm that men's health matters, and each comment you leave, whether a 1 if you're ready, or a 0 if you're still skeptical, joins you to a community of men refusing to accept decline as inevitable. So let's begin. Because once you understand why morning erections fade, the path to restoring them becomes clear. Why morning erections fade after 60? Gentlemen, let's be honest. When a man loses his morning erections, it feels deeply personal. Many of my patients tell me it's like waking up to a closed door, one they never thought they'd face. But here's the truth: the body hasn't betrayed you, it's biology, and more importantly, it's reversible. So why do morning erections fade after 60? First, circulation begins to change. Over the years, blood vessels lose their flexibility. Imagine a garden hose left out in the sun for decades. It stiffens, it narrows, and water doesn't flow the way it once did. That's exactly what happens to arteries carrying blood to the penis. Research published in Circulation Research 2019 shows that endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to relax and open, declines steadily with age, especially in men with high blood pressure or diabetes. And without that surge of blood flow at night, morning erections weaken. Second, nerve signals slow down. Your penis is wired with thousands of sensory nerves that send quick-fire messages to the spinal cord and brain. But with age, those signals dull. Studies in the Journal of Sexual Medicine 2016 confirm that nerve conduction speed decreases over time, meaning the electrical spark that once fired instantly becomes muffled. The body still wants to respond, but the message doesn't arrive as fast or as strong. Third, hormones play their role. Testosterone, the quiet driver of nocturnal erections, declines gradually after 40 and drops more steeply after 60. A 2018 report from the Endocrine Society highlighted that low testosterone levels don't just reduce libido, they blunt the brain's ability to trigger REM-related erections during sleep. In other words, even while you're dreaming, the hormonal signal is weaker, and the result is fewer, softer morning erections. Finally, lifestyle and inflammation add fuel to the fire. Poor sleep, processed food, excess belly fat, smoking, all of these raise inflammation, stiffen blood vessels, and worsen circulation. The Harvard Health Review 2020 emphasizes that systemic inflammation is one of the biggest hidden drivers of erectile decline. So when men tell me it's just age, I remind them it's not age, it's accumulation, choices, stress, and neglect piling up over time. But here's the message I want you to hear most. Morning erections are not gone forever. They are not a relic of youth. They are a sign of vascular and neurological health that can be reawakened. Just as arteries can become flexible again with the right habits, just as nerves can sharpen with stimulation, so too can your body relearn the melody it once played so naturally. And this is where our journey begins, because hidden in your own body are 4 pressure points that act like biological switches. Each one influences blood flow, nerve clarity, muscle strength, or hormonal balance. And when activated together, they create the conditions for firmness to return consistently, naturally, and safely. Gentlemen, the decline you feel is not the end of the story. It's simply the setup for the comeback. And in the next section, I'll introduce you to the very first pressure point, the place where nerves and vessels converge, waiting for your touch to bring them back to life. Pressure point #1, the base groove. Gentlemen, the first place we begin is right at the foundation, what I call the base groove. To most men, it seems like just another part of the body, but in truth, it is a hidden gateway. If you trace your finger along the underside of your manhood, where the shaft meets the pubic area, you'll find a subtle indentation. To the untrained eye, it's nothing more than skin and tissue. But beneath that groove lies a convergence of 2 vital systems: the dorsal nerve of the penis and a network of small blood vessels that feed directly into the erectile chambers. Think of it like a busy intersection where highways of blood flow and nerve signals meet. Why does this matter? Because stimulating this point gently but consistently can remind those circuits how to fire again. A study in the International Journal of Impotence Research, 2016, found that local mechanical stimulation in regions rich in sensory nerves can increase penile blood flow and improve reflexive erectile response. In simpler terms, when you activate this base groove, you wake up dormant pathways, asking nerves to sharpen and vessels to open. How to work this point? Sit comfortably or stand in a private, relaxed position. Place your thumb on the groove at the base and support the shaft with your fingers. Make slow, deliberate circular motions for about 90 seconds, not pressing too hard but with enough firmness that you can feel the tissue beneath respond. At first, the sensation may be subtle, a faint warmth, a tingling, but over time, something remarkable begins to happen. Sensitivity improves. Many of my patients tell me that after just a few weeks, they notice a gentle fullness in the mornings, a sign that the system is remembering how to work. The science explains why. When you massage this region, you stimulate the dorsal nerve, which carries signals to the spinal cord's erection center. You also encourage tiny blood vessels to dilate, improving local circulation. A 2018 paper in Urology and Urodynamics demonstrated that even light, a consistent stimulation of penile base nerves can improve erectile reflexes in aging men. So, gentlemen, don't underestimate this first switch. It's the ignition. Just like warming up an engine before a drive, the base groove primes your entire erection system, blood, nerves, and muscle for what comes next. And what comes next is even more powerful. Because while the base groove awakens sensitivity and flow, the second pressure point reaches deeper, into the very muscles that trap blood and hold you firm. And that, as you'll see, changes everything. Pressure point #2, the perineum. Gentlemen, the second pressure point is one most men never think about, and yet it may be the single most overlooked key to firmness. It's called the perineum, that soft stretch of tissue between the scrotum and the anus. To many, it seems unimportant, but beneath that patch of skin lies one of the most critical muscles for male sexual health, the bulbus spongiosum. Think of this muscle as nature's clamp. Its job is simple but essential: to trap blood inside the penis once an erection begins, creating the rigidity and staying power that every man desires. Here's the problem: as men age, especially if they've never trained their pelvic floor, this muscle weakens. Blood leaks out too quickly, erections fade, and confidence slips away. The good news: like any muscle, it can be reawakened. A 2014 study in European Urology showed that pelvic floor exercises in men with erectile dysfunction significantly improved erection hardness and duration. That's the science. And the perineum is the switch that wakes this muscle back up. How to activate it: sit or lie back comfortably with your knees slightly apart. Place 2 fingers gently but firmly on the perineum. Apply steady pressure, then move in slow circles for 2–3 minutes. At first, you may notice only a subtle warmth or a gentle pulsing beneath your fingers. But over time, the sensation grows. Men often describe it as a wave of fullness moving forward, almost as if blood is rediscovering its path into the penis. Some even feel a quiet strength returning to erections they thought were gone forever. And here's why it matters. Pressing and massaging this area doesn't just touch skin, it directly engages the pelvic floor, signaling the bulbous spongiasis to contract, to strengthen, and to reclaim its role. Pair this with simple Kegel exercises, squeezing the same muscles you'd use to stop urination midstream, and the results multiply. In just weeks, firmness improves, endurance returns, and the body becomes more dependable. Gentlemen, the perineum is your anchor. It's the guard at the gate, the muscle that decides whether blood stays where it belongs. And when you wake it up daily, you're not just training a muscle, you're rebuilding confidence, reclaiming control. But the journey doesn't end here. Because if the perineum is the anchor, the next pressure point is the spark, the one rich with nerves, where sensitivity and pleasure return in full force. And when that point is reawakened, it doesn't just restore firmness, it restores joy. Pressure point #3, the coronal ridge. Gentlemen, the third pressure point is where many men rediscover a part of themselves they thought was gone forever. It's called the coronal ridge, that raised ring where the head of the penis meets the shaft. To your touch, it feels like a natural border. But to science, it is one of the richest collections of sensory nerves anywhere on the male body. Over the years, many men tell me, "Doctor, I just feel numb. I don't get aroused the way I used to." That numbness is not imagination, it's biology. The coronal ridge is packed with specialized nerve endings that send messages directly to the spinal cord's erection center. But with age, those messages grow faint, like wires covered in dust. A 2016 study in the International Journal of Impotence Research confirmed that reduced penile sensitivity is strongly linked to both age and diminished erectile performance. In short, when the ridge goes quiet, the whole system weakens. How to reawaken it? Gently pinch the ridge between your thumb and forefinger, hold for about 5 seconds, then release. Repeat this hold and release rhythm for a minute. Then shift into slow circular motions, gliding your fingers around the ridge with just enough pressure to awaken the nerves without overwhelming them. At first, the response may feel subtle, a slight tingling, a sense of awareness returning. But with consistent practice, many men report something profound: quicker arousal, sharper sensitivity, and erections that come on more naturally, almost as if their body remembers its old rhythm. The science backs it up. Sensory training, repeated, deliberate stimulation of nerve-rich zones, has been shown to restore reflex sensitivity and improve erectile response, especially when combined with vascular and pelvic floor activation. It's like polishing a forgotten instrument until the music plays clearly once again. And here's what makes this point unique: the coronal ridge doesn't just restore firmness, it restores pleasure. It brings back the natural joy of intimacy, the spark of youth, the sense that your body can still surprise you. And for many men, that rediscovery is as powerful as the erection itself. Gentlemen, by now you've seen how these first 3 points work together. The base groove primes circulation, the perineum strengthens the muscle clamp, and the coronal ridge sharpens sensitivity. But there is still one more point left, one most men and even many doctors overlook: the sacral nerve trigger, a switch hidden in your lower back that science shows can reignite the entire system from its roots. Pressure point #4, the sacral nerve trigger. Gentlemen, if the first 3 points are switches along the wiring, the fourth is the master breaker, the place where the whole circuit begins. It's found not in the penis itself, but just above it at the foundation of your spine, the sacral nerve region. Right at the base of your lower back, just above the tailbone, lies a cluster of nerves known as the sacral plexus. These nerves send commands directly to the pelvic floor, to the blood vessels of the penis, and to the muscles that sustain an erection. When these nerves fire clearly, the entire system responds. When they go quiet, everything downstream weakens. Here's the science. A 2020 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine demonstrated that gentle stimulation of the sacral nerves can improve erectile function in men by enhancing pelvic blood flow and restoring nerve reflexes. In fact, doctors are even experimenting with sacral nerve stimulation devices for severe ED. But you don't need a machine, you can access this region with your own hands. How to activate the sacral nerve trigger? Lie on your back with knees bent or sit upright in a chair. Place your palm or fingertips on the lower back just above the tailbone. Apply firm, steady pressure in small circular motions for 2-3 minutes. As you massage, breathe deeply, letting your abdomen rise and fall. This breathing amplifies parasympathetic activity, the rest and repair system that drives erections during sleep. At first, the feeling may not be local. Instead, you might notice a gentle warmth spreading forward into the pelvis, or even a subtle release of tension in the lower body. Over time, this practice awakens the sacral nerves, sharpening their signals and improving the coordination between brain, spine, and pelvis. I've had men in their 70s look at me in surprise after a few weeks of practice, saying, "Doctor, I feel alive again in a way I can't explain. It's like the signal is stronger." And that's exactly what's happening. The body is remembering its wiring. Gentlemen, this fourth point is the amplifier. While the base groove, perineum, and coronal ridge target local pathways, the sacral nerve trigger resets the control center itself. It's the switchboard operator telling every line to fire. When you add this to your daily practice, the gains multiply. Not just firmer erections, but deeper relaxation, better pelvic circulation, even improved bladder control. And now you may be wondering, how do these 4 points work together in one seamless routine? That's the real transformation. Because when you combine them, blood flow, muscle strength, nerve sensitivity, and spinal control, you create a full system reset. And in just minutes a day, you can teach your body to respond again like it once did. The complete 4-point routine. Gentlemen, knowing each pressure point on its own is powerful. But the real transformation comes when you connect them into one smooth practice. Think of it like tuning a 4-string instrument. Each string matters, but only when played together does the melody truly come alive. This is the 4-point routine I teach my patients. A simple daily ritual that takes no more than 6 to 8 minutes, yet systematically reawakens blood flow, muscle strength, nerve sensitivity, and spinal control. Step 1. The base groove, 90 seconds. Place your thumb on the groove where the shaft meets the body. Support the shaft with your fingers. Make slow, circular motions for a minute and a half. Imagine you're priming the pump, asking blood vessels and nerves to wake up. Step 2. The perineum, 2-3 minutes. Move to the soft stretch between scrotum and anus. Press with 2 fingers, firm but comfortable. Working in slow circles. Feel for a subtle pulse or warmth. That's the pelvic floor muscle re-engaging, the clamp regaining its grip. Step 3. The coronal ridge, 2 minutes. Pinch gently between thumb and forefinger, hold 5 seconds, then release. Repeat, then glide in slow circles around the ridge. This sharpens sensitivity, polishing the wires so signals travel clean and fast. Step 4. The sacral nerve trigger, 2-3 minutes. Place your palm just above the tailbone, either sitting or lying down. Massage in firm circles while breathing slowly and deeply. This tells the spinal control center the system is online again. Altogether, the practice takes less time than making a cup of coffee, yet over weeks it retrains the body to do what it was designed to do. Surge with circulation, hold firmness, and respond naturally to arousal. A 2020 review in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that combining pelvic floor activation, nerve stimulation, and vascular training produced measurable improvements in erectile function in men over 60. This routine brings all three together, plus the sacral nerve reset for a complete approach. Gentlemen, I want you to see this not as an exercise, but as a ritual. A conversation with your own body. Each time you repeat it, you're reminding the system, this is who I am, this is what I can still do. And with consistency, your mornings will begin to change, first subtly, then unmistakably. But I know the question burning in your mind, Doctor, how soon will I see results? Oh, that's fair. And in the next section, I'll walk you through exactly what to expect week by week, and why patience, more than anything, is the secret ingredient to lasting success. Gentlemen, the first question almost every man asks me after learning this 4-point routine is, Doctor, how long before I see results? And I always give the same honest answer. This is not a magic switch. It is a retraining process, but here's the beauty, your body is far more responsive than you think, even after 60. Week 1-2, subtle signals. Most men begin by noticing something small, a gentle warmth in the mornings, a faint fullness they haven't felt in years, or a sharper awareness in the pelvic region. A 2019 paper in Andrology found that within just 2 weeks of targeted pelvic and nerve stimulation, blood flow markers in the penis improved significantly. In other words, change begins quietly but measurably. Week 3-4, consistency builds. By the 3rd and 4th week, firmness starts to return with greater regularity. Erections last longer. Mornings feel more dependable. A randomized trial published in European Urology 2014 confirmed that men who practiced pelvic floor activation for a month reported stronger rigidity and better control compared to those who relied only on medication. The science agrees, consistency pays off. Month 2-3, a new baseline. Beyond 4 to 6 weeks, something deeper happens. Those subtle improvements stack until they become your new normal. Firmer erections, quicker response to arousal, and confidence you thought was gone. A 2020 review in the Journal of Sexual Medicine showed that men over 60 who combined pelvic floor training, nerve stimulation, and vascular activation not only regained erectile function, they sustained it long-term. Month 3 and beyond, the bigger shift. And then, gentlemen, the transformation stops being just about erections. Patients tell me they sleep more deeply, their energy feels sharper, even their bladder control improves. Why? Because these 4 points don't just wake up the penis, they restore circulation, strengthen nerves, and reset the spine's command center. You're not just reigniting manhood, you're restoring health. Now I want to set the right expectation. Progress is not always linear. Some days will feel stronger than others, that's normal. What matters is momentum. Each session is like stacking bricks. You may not notice the wall rising day by day, but one morning you'll look up and realize you've built something solid, dependable, yours again. And here's what science tells us loud and clear. Decline is not destiny. Even after 60, the body retains the remarkable ability to heal, adapt, and regenerate if you give it the right stimulus. That's what this 4-point practice provides. But there's one more piece of this puzzle. Because while the points are powerful on their own, their effects multiply when you give your body the right environment: hydration, nutrition, sleep, and movement. And in our final section, I'll show you how to set the stage for success so that each day, your results grow stronger and more lasting. Gentlemen, we've come full circle. You now understand why morning erections fade after 60, not because age has stripped you of manhood, but because circulation slows, nerves dull, muscles weaken, and signals from the spine grow faint. The science is clear: decline is not destiny. And you've discovered the 4 overlooked switches built into your own body: the base groove where blood flow and nerve signals converge; the perineum, the anchor of the pelvic floor that holds firmness in place; the corona ridge, the spark of sensitivity and pleasure; and the sacral nerve trigger, the master control center that resets the entire system. Together, these 4 points create a daily practice, just 6 to 8 minutes, that restores not only erections, but dignity, confidence, and the quiet strength of knowing your body still remembers how to respond. Add hydration, nutrition, sleep, and simple exercise, and the results multiply. I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s reclaim mornings they thought were gone forever. And each time I see the same realization in their eyes: "Doctor, I'm not finished. My life is not over. I still have more to give." Gentlemen, hear me clearly. You are not broken. You are not destined to fade. With consistency and courage, your best mornings and your best years can still lie ahead. Now, before we close, I want you to do something simple that carries weight. Hit subscribe so you never miss the science that can keep you strong. Tap like. Because here in this community, we stand together. We fight decline together, and we rise together. So take these lessons, put them into practice, and remember, you are not defined by age. You are defined by the choices you make today. Gentlemen, your body is waiting. Go wake it up.